What's up, y'all? I'm out here on the range on a nice sunny breezy day. Temperatures right now low 60s or mid 60s, so almost perfect right now. Not a lot of sunshine, so really nice day to do some testing. I've gotten one test done so far that unfortunately wasn't near as nice as this weather, but hopefully this one will go a little bit better. We're checking out some more 40 Smith & Wesson. So the jelly contraption is ready to go with a couple of chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now, like I mentioned, that first test did not behave, as y'all can see. It stayed mostly at the back, if not for this one right here, but unfortunately that's probably going to keep me from doing a third test, but I shouldn't have any problem getting this one done. I've got the heavy clothing barrier up front as usual with the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we've got for this one is a 40 Smith & Wesson round from Black Hills Ammo. We've got their 155 grain JHP. Now they're claiming 1150 FPS at the muzzle from a 4.5-inch barrel, so that would give you a little over 450 foot-pounds, which is pretty nice for 40 Smith & Wesson. Here's a look at your cartridge, brass case, pretty basic projectile, I'll have to say. It does have some skivs on it, so not nearly as basic as that last 38 Super we tested anyway. And then as far as what I'm running them from, I've got 2 different barrel lengths here as usual. For the shorty, we've got the G27 with the roughly 3.5-inch barrel, and then for the longer one, I've got the G22 with the 4.5, which is what they're claiming that velocity from, so we should see that. Like I always mention with 40 Smith & Wesson, if you've got a 23, you can kind of guesstimate performance right in the middle of these. So hopefully this 40 Smith & Wesson behaves a little bit better than that last 38 Super I tested. Let's get it all set up and see what they do. All right, let's see what kind of numbers we can get out of these things, y'all. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from each one of them, starting with this 27. Now, if you're not familiar with this radar, you're gonna see multiple readings. Your large numbers right here at the muzzle, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one there is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where I've got the gel at here at 10 feet. And then the others are set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. Now remember, they're saying 1150 from a 4.5, so we shouldn't see that here. It'd be nice, but I highly doubt it. Feels decent. 1078, 1097, 1099, 1065, and 1076. So definitely not the 1150, which we didn't expect. Let's check out the average. All right, so our 5-round average that time was 1,083 feet per second. We had an extreme spread of 34 with a 14.6 standard deviation, so not bad on the consistency. 1,083, I mean, I really don't like seeing that out of a 155 grain, pretty basic projectile, but hopefully they'll do what they need to do. Let's reset it and see what the longer barrel does. All right, let's see what the extra inch does for it. We're looking for 1150. I think we're going to be pretty close. We're going to be right around 1150. Let's see what happens. 1143. 1138. 1146. 1139. And 1150, so definitely better with the longer barrel. Let's check out that average. All right, now we're talking. Our 5-round average that time was 1,143 feet per second. They're saying 1150. I think you have to give that to them. That's well within the extreme spread that was 12 with a standard deviation of 5.1. So really nice consistency from the barrel length that they basically designed this stuff for. 1143, and if you remember on the shorty barrel, it was 1,083, so exactly 60 feet per second difference between them. Makes complete sense based on the barrel length right here. All this being said, I'm a little worried about that 27. I ain't gonna lie. The 22 should have that little bit of extra it needs to get it to do what it needs to do. But let's get this stuff reset. Y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's lead pills from the Black Hills jelly time. I'm gonna put one from each barrel length, starting with this 27 first. This is the one I'm definitely a little worried about, but hopefully I'm just worried for nothing. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that thing just curved out the side. Let me go check. Of course it went out the side. This jelly contraption, I don't know what's got into it, but it does not want me to have one smooth test today, not one single one. Let's see if I can move this over some. All right, I think that should be good. Let me go check it out. All right, that's more like it right there. Decent looking performance, not fantastic, but decent looking. So this should do pretty good since that one did decent. All right, I'm pretty sure that one stayed in for me. Let's go check these out. All right, let's check out what we got down here, y'all. Definitely not what I was hoping to see, but kind of what I suspected we were going to see, especially after seeing the velocities. Obviously in the middle here, that's that first one that went out the side there. Now it looks about like the other one, so there's no doubt you probably had about the same expansion. You can see it comes in here, definitely some immediate expansion. Not a whole lot though, as you'll see down at the bottom. Nice disruption, nice transfer of energy. However, without that nice expansion, it does keep on going into the second block, probably, I mean, a good 6-7 inches or so, and you do have some expansion, just not a whole lot. And then down here on the bottom, basically more of the same. It looks very similar. Nice disruption, nice transfer of energy through that first block, all the way through the first one into the second one, and then this one goes maybe 2, maybe 3 inches further than that other one, and looks like you've got about the same as far as expansion. As far as your distance on them, the one up top from the shorter barrel 27, you're at 22.5 inches, and then down there on the bottom through the 22, you're at 24.5 inches. So probably more than a lot of people are comfortable with. Me personally, I'm plenty fine with that right there. And then here's your close look at them. You can see they all look really similar. Very nice looking disruption all the way through this first block, and then they go into the second block. You can see there, that's the one from the 27. I'm sure you can already tell, not a whole lot of expansion. And then if we drop down and forward a little bit, there's the one from your 22. Looking from the top here, again, really nice looking disruption all the way through this first block into the second block. Once again, there's the one from the 27, and then there's the one from the 22. All right, let's take a look at these projectiles. This one right here is from the 27. This is from the 22. Obviously, you can tell the difference. That extra velocity, it definitely helps with this 22. That being said, I mean, neither one of them are terrible. You can see these projectiles, you can tell, aren't designed to give you any kind of really massive expansion. This one from the 22 is nearly at full expansion. You definitely had some more it could have gotten. The cloth is what causes them not to fully expand. And I talk about this all the time, but I mean, y'all should use common sense here. Even if it doesn't fully expand, this right here is still plenty, because without as heavier cloth, you might get more. With a little heavier cloth, you might get less. If you run into bone or who knows what, you might get a little more or less. So in my opinion, if you can get expansion like this regularly out of a round, I think that's plenty good performance. Not only that, but when you get this type of design for an HP, you don't have to worry near as much about shedding material, and you've still got a really nice heavy chunk if you need to get through something that needs to be gotten through. But let's check these numbers on them and see what that's looking like. They started at 155. This one from the G27 is at 154.6, so obviously nothing lost there. And then this one from the 22 is at 155.1, so absolutely nothing lost from either one of them. And then as far as your sizes, you're not going to see any kind of really impressive numbers here, but let's see what we got. You're looking at 478 and 466 from the 27. So again, nothing award winning, but that's plenty adequate to do what you need to do. And then the 22 here, you've got 517 and 527. So you can really tell that these are designed to be run from a 4.5 inch barrel, because this one right here is pretty much perfect performance. So there you go, y'all, the Black Hills Ammo 40 Smith & Wesson 155 grain. I think these did a fine job. Nothing spectacular, nothing award-winning, not top 3, top 5 performance even, but they did plenty of what they needed to do. You got nice consistent velocity, nice performance here in the gel. Now again, the distance might be a little much for some people, but you just, again, you got to take into account the real world stuff that may change that a little bit either way, and just do your job. That's the main thing. You need to do your job with some ammo that performs like this. If you do your job well, this ammo should do do its job. All right, y'all, I'm gonna call it right there for what ended up being a pretty decent 40 Smith & Wesson test. Like I already said, I don't think you're gonna win the world's best performing 40 Smith & Wesson round with these right here, but I think they did a fine job for what they are. Standard pressure 40 Smith & Wesson. I'm not sure what the cost is on them. I didn't even pay no attention, but if you can get them at a decent deal, I mean, I think it's another decent 40 Smith & Wesson round. Now, the same person that sent these to me also sent the 180 grain version too, so I'm gonna be testing those soon. I got a bad feeling based on the way these perform that we may struggle getting some good stuff out of those 180s, but maybe I'll be wrong. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments, especially those of y'all that carry 40 Smith & Wesson. What kind of tool do you carry? What ammo do you run in it? What do you think about the performance from these right here? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. A quick reminder again, if you're doing any kind of shopping at all, check out those affiliate links I've got in the video description. Probably a little of anything you might want down there, and anything you pick up after checking out those links helps the channel, so I really appreciate that. Big thanks once again to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I was still kind of wondering if I might be able to sneak a third test in this, but as you can probably already tell, this one right here pretty much sealed the deal that this is going to be my last test for today. Don't fret though, I'll be right back out here in a few days, so I got tons more stuff on the way. Make sure you stay on the lookout for that, and in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.